If you're over the age of 60, there's one everyday snack that might seem harmless, even healthy, but could silently raise your risk of stroke while you sleep. You won't feel any pain. There's no early warning. One moment you're perfectly fine, then suddenly you can't move one side of your body. Your speech becomes slurred, or you lose your balance completely. As a doctor who has spent decades treating the aging brain, I've seen this terrifying situation happen to far too many older adults. Good people who never saw it coming. What's truly shocking is that the cause isn't always smoking a bad diet or lack of exercise. In fact, it's often something people over 60 eat regularly because they believe it's good for their heart memory or cholesterol. I'm talking about nuts. Yes, really nuts. Every day, millions of seniors snack on almonds, cashews, pistachios, macadamia nuts, or peanut butter, believing these are the best healthy snacks for seniors. And in moderation, at the right time of day, some of these foods can support health. But what most people don't know is that when consumed in the wrong form in large amounts, or especially at night, these very same nuts can silently harm aging blood vessels, raise blood pressure, and even lead to brain bleeds during the night when your brain is at its weakest. That's why today, I'm going to walk you through the top 5 most common nuts that could quietly increase your stroke risk, especially as you age. And if you or someone you care about snacks on nuts regularly, this might be the most important health warning you'll hear all year. Let's begin with the one nut that nearly everyone believes is the healthiest choice: almonds. But before we dive into it, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a health tip created just for seniors like you. And if you're finding this information helpful so far, just type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I can keep improving the content for your needs. Now back to almonds. We all know they're often praised by doctors, nutritionists, and fitness experts. They're said to be good for the heart. And they can be, but here's the truth, that many don't realize almonds can also pose a hidden danger for brain health, especially in older adults. I've personally treated stroke patients who did everything right. They didn't smoke, they exercised, they ate what most people call a healthy diet. But they still suffered a life-changing stroke, all because of a habit they thought was helping them. Let me share one case with you. Gerald Thompson, a 70-year-old retired firefighter from Ohio, strong, disciplined, proud. Every night before bed, he had the same routine. Sit in his recliner, read the paper, and eat a small bowl of almonds about a cup. "Almonds are heart healthy," he told me proudly when we first met. And yes, they are. But for aging arteries and brains, timing and quantity matter more than most people realize. But when eaten in the wrong amount at the wrong time, especially in older adults, almonds can quietly become dangerous. Here's what many people don't realize. Almonds are very high in oxalates, natural compounds, that when consumed too much bind with calcium in your blood and can lead to vascular calcification. That means your arteries, especially those in the brain, become stiff, narrow, and more likely to form blood clots. In younger people, the body can handle this better. But in seniors where arteries are already aging and dehydration is common at night, this combination creates the perfect setup for a stroke, often while you're asleep. Mr. Thompson felt nothing. He went to bed like always, but around 5:30 a.m., his wife found him slurring his words and unable to lift his left arm. A brain scan confirmed an ischemic stroke. He had no blocked arteries from diet, no diabetes, no smoking, just years of quiet buildup from eating almonds every night. What seemed like a healthy habit turned out to be dangerous. When we reviewed his blood work, it showed high oxalate and calcium levels. His arteries were stiff and his blood pressure was unstable. All signs pointed to long-term oxalate overload, something few older adults are ever warned about. And the scariest part, almonds don't taste harmful. They taste safe and familiar. But for seniors, more is not better. Your kidneys don't clear oxalates as well as they did when you were younger. Your blood vessels don't recover like they used to. One small choice repeated daily can turn into a major brain event. Today, Mr. Thompson uses a wheelchair. He can't drive, he needs help getting dressed. I thought I was being smart, he told me with tears in his eyes. I didn't know a snack could take away my independence. That's the painful truth about the aging brain. Even innocent foods can quietly turn dangerous if you don't understand how they work in your body. So next time you grab almonds before bed, stop and ask, is this helping my brain or quietly putting it at risk? And if almonds surprised you, just wait until you hear about the next nut one that looks harmless but can quietly cause blood pressure spikes while you sleep. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please type the number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. Now let's move on to point number 2. Cashew's a nut rich in magnesium, but with a hidden risk when it comes to high blood pressure. Cashews are buttery, creamy, and very satisfying. They've become a favorite snack for many older adults trying to eat clean and avoid processed foods. After all, they're said to be full of healthy fats and magnesium nutrients linked to better heart and brain function. You've probably seen this message repeated in health magazines, TV shows, and even on supplement labels. But here's the part no one explains to seniors. For those with heart problems or high blood pressure, cashews can silently push your numbers into the danger zone, especially at night. Let me tell you about Mrs. Linda Carver, an 80-year-old retired librarian from Pennsylvania. Bright, cheerful, and active, she had a nightly habit around 9 p.m. While watching her favorite game shows, she'd enjoy a small bowl of roasted salted cashews. It was her treat, a bit of comfort before bed. She took her medications, faithfully stayed active, and avoided sweets. But one morning, she woke up feeling dizzy and confused. Her heart was racing. She nearly collapsed trying to walk to the kitchen. At the ER, her blood pressure had soared to 192 over 106. Scans showed no stroke or clot, but her numbers were dangerously unstable. She hadn't missed her medication. So, what changed the salted cashews? Like many store-bought nuts, hers were heavily salted. Just one handful had over 180 milligrams of sodium, and she was unknowingly eating 2 or 3 handfuls every night. Older adults need to understand this after 60. Your body doesn't handle sodium the way it used to. Your kidneys slow down, your blood vessels become more sensitive. Even a small extra dose of salt in the evening can lead to nighttime blood pressure spikes, and that's when your brain is most at risk. If blood pressure surges while you sleep, the chance of a hemorrhagic stroke where a vessel in the brain bursts goes up sharply. Mrs. Carver was fortunate. She didn't have a stroke that night, but she now suffers from constant dizziness, has fallen twice, and can no longer sleep alone without help. She looked me in the eye and said, "I never thought a few cashews would end my independence." That's the hidden cost. Not just your numbers, but your balance, your confidence, your ability to live safely on your own. The danger stays quiet until it doesn't. So before you reach for that salty snack at night, ask yourself, is it worth the risk? You may be feeding a craving, but you could be putting your brain health in danger without realizing it. And if you think salty cashews are bad, just wait until you hear what one luxury nut can do to your cholesterol levels and stroke risk without giving you any early warning signs. Let's talk about number 3, macadamia nuts. They're often seen as one of the best heart-healthy snacks available. Rich, creamy, and loaded with good fats. Macadamia nuts appear in high-end gift baskets, gourmet trail mixes, and even in Mediterranean-style diets recommended by some doctors. But here's what many people don't realize. For older adults eating macadamia nuts regularly, and without paying attention to quantity can quietly raise your LDL cholesterol, stiffen your arteries, and slowly increase your risk of stroke, especially during the night while you sleep. This damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds silently. And by the time symptoms show up, it's often too late. I think of one patient, Mr. James Hollis, 81, a retired postal worker from Arizona. Every morning and evening, he'd enjoy a spoonful of macadamia nuts with his coffee or tea. "They're good for my heart," he told me. And in small amounts, he was right. But when I met him, he had just recovered from a transient ischemic attack, also known as a mini stroke. His speech became slurred, and he suddenly felt weak on one side. At first, he thought it was just part of aging, but brain scans revealed the truth: cholesterol buildup and arterial stiffness, especially in the tiny blood vessels that supply the brain. Here's the hidden danger: most seniors never hear about macadamia. Nuts are extremely high in monounsaturated fats. While these fats can be healthy, they're only safe when balanced with fiber and omega-3 fatty acids. In large amounts, especially in older adults, they can raise LDL bad cholesterol and harden arteries over time. Worse for those already on cholesterol medication, macadamia nuts can mask the rise in cholesterol, letting damage go unnoticed. And the numbers add up fast. Just 10 macadamia nuts contain nearly 200 calories and 20 grams of fat. As your metabolism slows with age, your liver processes fat less efficiently. Combine that with aging arteries, and even a small clot can block blood flow to the brain. That's when the nightmare begins. Slurred speech, vision problems, paralysis, or worse. Some people never fully recover. Mr. Hollis now walks with a cane. He stopped driving. He needs help with everyday tasks. "I thought I was doing the right thing," he said quietly, shaking his head. "I didn't know something so fancy could take away my freedom." That's the hard truth about stroke risks as we age. Stroke risks don't always come from obviously bad habits. Sometimes they come from good habits done the wrong way, like eating too much of something that's marketed as healthy without knowing the hidden dangers. So, the next time you grab a handful of macadamia nuts, stop and ask yourself, is this treat worth risking my independence? And if macadamia surprised you, wait until you hear about the next nut. It's small green and found in snack packs and airport lounges. It may seem harmless, but it could be quietly raising your brain pressure without you noticing a thing. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, please type 1 in the comments so I know you're here. Now let's move on to nut number 4. Pistachios, small green, and silently raising your blood pressure. Pistachios look cheerful and harmless. You find them in trail mixes served on flights or in holiday snack bowls. They're promoted as heart-healthy and full of antioxidants, and that's true, but only if they're raw and unsalted. For older adults, the danger isn't from the nut itself, it's from what gets added to it and when you eat it, especially at night. Let me tell you about Mrs. Gloria Westbrook, an 85-year-old retired teacher from Michigan. Every evening while winding down with the evening news, she'd enjoy a small bowl of roasted pistachios, her favorite bedtime treat. "They're better than chips," she would say. But she didn't realize her snack was loaded with over 200 milligrams of sodium per serving, and sometimes even more. For younger people, the body may handle that salt overnight. But for seniors like Gloria that evening, sodium load had a very different effect. One morning, she collapsed in the hallway, dizzy, confused, unable to walk straight. Her blood pressure had spiked to 198 to 112. At the ER, doctors feared a stroke. No bleeding or clot showed on scans yet. But what they did find was serious vascular stress. Stiff arteries, mild brain swelling, and signs of unstable nighttime blood pressure. Her blood pressure meds were working during the day, but the sodium in the pistachios was quietly undoing that progress overnight. Here's the scary part. Most roasted pistachios sold in stores, even the ones labeled lightly salted, can contain enough salt to completely cancel out your blood pressure medication if eaten before bed. And you won't feel it happening. That pressure spike comes silently, while your brain is at its most vulnerable. That's when small blood vessels can rupture. That's when a hemorrhagic stroke can strike with no warning and no second chance. Gloria survived, but now she uses a walker and requires part-time home care. Her independence is gone. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "I just wanted something to crunch on before bed. I didn't know it would cost me my balance, my strength, my freedom." That's what Gloria said after her collapse. And that's the real danger. It's not always the foods we fear that hurt us. Sometimes it's the snacks we trust, the habits we repeat, the things that feel safe that end up doing the most damage quietly over time. So if pistachios are your go-to nighttime snack, it's time to ask yourself, is it really worth gambling with your brain? And if you thought pistachios were risky, wait until you hear what one creamy, comforting nut butter, likely sitting in your pantry right now, might be doing to your blood vessels night after night. Number 5, peanut butter. It's smooth, familiar, and for many older adults, it feels like a safe and soft food, something easy to eat when chewing gets harder or appetite fades. A spoonful before bed, a spread on whole grain toast, a quick protein-packed snack. It seems harmless enough, but what if I told you that for seniors, especially those with heart disease, high blood pressure, or circulation problems, peanut butter can become one of the most dangerous things in your kitchen? Let me tell you about Mr. Don Willis, a 79-year-old Vietnam veteran from Kentucky. He lived alone, valued his independence, and tried hard to eat right. Every evening, he'd fix a light meal, a banana, a slice of wheat bread, and a generous layer of peanut butter. It felt like a healthy routine, but slowly his energy faded. He felt lightheaded in the mornings. Swelling appeared in his ankles. One night, he stood up too fast, lost his balance, and hit his head on the dresser. At the hospital, we found his blood pressure dangerously high and early signs of atherosclerosis. His arteries were stiff and inflamed. The most shocking part, his LDL cholesterol was rising, even though he was taking statins. The peanut butter he'd been using daily, a store brand labeled natural, was actually packed with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, and hidden sodium. Just 2 tablespoons contained over 199 kilograms of sodium, along with processed fats that inflame blood vessels and sweeteners that spike blood sugar. This is especially dangerous late at night when your metabolism slows and your arteries are more vulnerable. In people over 70, your body doesn't clear these ingredients efficiently. Blood vessels lose their flexibility. Inflammation increases. The inner lining of your arteries, the endothelium, grows weaker. It's a setup for stroke, heart attack, or even vascular dementia. Today, Don needs a home nurse 3 days a week. He walks with a cane. He looked at me one afternoon and said, "Doc, it was just peanut butter." I didn't know it was slowly breaking me down. That's the painful reality. What feels like comfort food can slowly become a silent threat, especially if you eat it often without reading the label. At this stage of life, it's not just what you eat, it's how much, how often, and how your aging body reacts to it that really matters. So the next time you reach for that familiar jar, ask yourself, is this truly giving my body the fuel it needs, or is it quietly becoming a hidden threat? If you've started to question what's actually safe to eat, you're not alone. That's a smart question to ask, but an even better one is, if these common nuts carry so much stroke risk, what should I eat instead? Let's talk about real food, the kind that not only fills your stomach, but truly protects your brain, your blood vessels, and your ability to stay independent. Number 6, what should you eat instead of these nuts? After everything I've shared, you might feel confused or even betrayed. How can something as natural and widely praised as nuts become dangerous? I understand that feeling deeply. Many of my older patients have told me the same thing. They followed the advice they were given. They tried to eat well. But no one told them how drastically the body changes with age. Your kidneys, liver arteries, and blood pressure at 75 simply don't work the way they did when you were 45. That's why even healthy foods from your younger years can quietly cause harm today. So what can you eat that actually supports your brain, strengthens your circulation, and lowers your stroke risk, especially during sleep? Let me introduce you to Mrs. Margaret Lane, a 73-year-old retired nurse from Minnesota. She came to me feeling drained, dizzy, and frustrated. Despite taking supplements and eating mixed nuts twice a day, her blood pressure was out of control, her balance had worsened, and her memory was slipping. "I feel like I'm doing everything they say I should," she said, "but I'm falling apart." So we took a different path. No more pills, no more processed nut blends, no more powdered brain formulas, just real food at the right times in the right combinations. Her morning started with a soft-boiled egg, a clean source of protein and choline essential for memory. Then half an avocado rich in potassium and healthy fat for blood vessels. One slice of whole grain toast for slow, steady energy. A small handful of unsalted walnuts or ground flaxseed loaded with omega-3s and fiber gentle on aging arteries. And a glass of room-temperature water to support circulation and hydration. Lunches were simple but nourishing soups with leafy greens, beans, lentils, or a salmon salad. Dinners were eaten early and included roasted vegetables, sweet potatoes, and grilled chicken or trout. She also added a few berries throughout the day for their antioxidant benefits and avoided anything heavy after 7 p.m. Within just a few weeks, the change was remarkable. Her blood pressure stabilized, her dizziness disappeared, her energy came back. She looked at me and said, "I don't just feel better. I feel clear again." That's what food can do when it's used wisely. Not as a trend, not as a quick fix, but as true nourishment, something your aging brain can actually recognize and thrive on. If there's one message I hope you carry with you today, it's this. Your body isn't failing you, it's asking you to listen. You don't need to follow extreme diets or spend money on expensive supplements. What you truly need is balance, simplicity, and the awareness that every bite you eat affects your brain, your circulation, and your future. Now that you know what foods support you best, let me leave you with one final important thought. Because what really protects you as you age isn't just what's on your plate, it's what you understand before you eat it. So, please stay with me for this last moment because I want to share the single most powerful mindset shift that can help you protect your brain, regain your energy, and take back control of your health at any age. Here it is, your brain is listening to every bite you take. At this stage in life, every decision matters more than it used to, especially when it comes to your health. The truth is, your brain isn't just shaped by what you do or don't do. It's shaped, nurtured, or harmed by the foods you choose every day. For years, we've been told that nut supplements and natural snacks are the secret to staying young and sharp. And in some cases, that can be true, but only when eaten in the right way, in the right amount, and at the right time. As we grow older, the rules change. Your body handles sodium differently. Your arteries lose flexibility. Your kidneys don't filter as well. What was safe at 40 may quietly become harmful at 75. That's not fear, it's just how the body works with time. The 5 foods we've talked about today, almonds, cashews, macadamias, pistachios, and peanut butter, aren't bad on their own. But when eaten in large amounts or late at night, they can silently contribute to stroke, brain bleeds, nerve damage, or memory loss. And what's most frightening? These symptoms don't shout, they whisper. A little dizziness, a bit of brain fog, feeling off. Then suddenly, one night, everything changes. I've seen too many people lose their speech, their balance, even their independence. And not from fast food or smoking, but from the very snacks they thought were helping them. But here's the good news: awareness is powerful medicine. You still have the power to protect your brain. You can eat in a way that nourishes without harm. You can build daily habits that support your mind, your heart, and your ability to stay independent. You are not too old. You are not too late, but you do need to take action. So, when you walk back into your kitchen today, pause for just a second. Look at what you're reaching for. Read the label, listen to your body, and most of all, ask yourself, is this really feeding my brain or quietly stealing it from me? These lessons aren't here to scare you. They're here to help you live with clarity, confidence, and joy. I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned today that you plan to apply in your life. Let's continue to support one another as we learn and grow on this journey to better health and stronger minds. If you found this video helpful, please type 1 in the comments. If not, feel free to type 0. Your feedback truly helps us improve. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more trusted tips on brain health, stroke prevention, and living well. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life with clarity, strength, and on your own terms.